Hi, this is Mrs. A. We're going to make a stencil today and create this beautiful repeating pattern of negative and positive spaces using some cardboard, oil pastels, scissors, and a marker. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my mannequin here. Let's get this guy out here, and he's going to help me figure out where my figure is going to be. So I'm going to start with my head and my neck. He's got this sort of strange, it's not really a square. I kind of like to draw it like a Dorito with the rounded corners on the triangles, and then I'll add a smaller upside down Dorito because his belly button would be about right there. Hips and shoulders. I've got an arm that's going to come up this way. Elbow, hand, hand. Elbow, forearm, hand there, forearm and hand. And then one nice, straight, super strong ballerina leg with a ballerina shoe. And then one sticking out ballerina leg. I'm not a ballerina, but I think that my ballerina friends will know exactly what position this is. I kind of messed up on the knee right there, but that's okay, because when I cut this out, I can cut that off. It's no big deal. And I'm going to fill it all in solid, just like a shadow. Okay, so all solidly. This contour line is really important because that's going to be the shape of the body. So you want to make sure that you have a nice shape to your body. She kind of looks like she has a cast on a little bit there, but again, I can fix that when I cut it out. I used a piece of cardboard that's about 5 inches because my paper happens to be 7 inches. So I want to make sure that my figure will fit on my paper. So that's important because sometimes we can get a really big piece of cardboard out of the recycle bin and it doesn't fit on our paper. That's happened to me before. I tried to practice this in my notebook and I made my little notebook sized figure too big. Yeah, it's not awesome. All right, there's my ballerina head. There's the neck. I want her to be lumpy headed. I'm gonna put a bun on her head, a little bun here. Little ears stick out. Those might be hard to cut out. And then I'm going to add a little skirt. I could add a tutu, but I think I'll add a skirt. I'm going to put her little skirt on here. And then when I cut this out, I'm going to need to cut it out so that I end up with two pieces. So an inside piece and an outside piece, what we call a positive piece and a negative piece. So we want to try to cut just inside the lines and or just on the edge of the black lines so that we get one whole body and one whole background. And I'm going to go ahead and start cutting that out right now. All right, now that I have my silhouette cut out, I also have this leftover piece. And this leftover piece is important because it makes us a little stencil. So it's like the negative space. So I'm gonna take this little piece of tape. I just have this giant roll of tape, so I've got to cut it into smaller pieces so that I can kind of get my, let's see, kind of get my ballerina back in her spot here. She needs her toe kind of fixed closed. So I'm gonna, there we go, that looks pretty good. Just tape that closed a little bit so that it's gonna stay. Well, maybe it will stay. And then once we get it closed, then I can cut some of that tape out a little bit if I need to get a better shape there. There we go. So hopefully you're watching this video before you start this project. So I might have made it a little different. I might not have made the toe quite as close to the bottom here as I did if I had thought about it a little bit further ahead. So that's okay, it still works, it'll stay together. And I have to be careful of these parts because they're a little, see how they're a little floppy, but that's all right. All right, so I've got my silhouette and I have my stencil. And I'm ready to make my artwork.